Hi, my name's Phil. I like talking about politics, and in this video, looking at the polling for the US presidential election in a few weeks, it's striking to me how Trump is in at least one respect making exactly the same mistake as the Tories did in this country. Didn't go well for them. In his case, it's probably a consequence of ignoring Republican strategists, but his appeal is too scattergun to be hitting the key swing states. And so as a result, Harris may well win the presidency without the usual huge lead in the popular vote that Democrats usually need. But first, for daily political commentary, please click the subscribe button so you don't miss out. So American presidential elections use the archaic first past the post system, just like in the UK. Terrible system, which means that some votes count for more than others and some parts of the country are more important than others. But it is useful for election strategists because it means you can identify the key swing voters in the key swing areas and tailor your campaign to appeal to them. And one of the major areas in which the Tories went wrong was in targeting the reform vote. But the particular way in which they did it meant that at best they'd be consolidating votes in areas like the so-called red wall, where they already had no chance, and not engaging with key voters in the seats that were still winnable for them. What they did was go, oh, there's a load of votes gone to Reform UK. That's where a lot of the votes are going, so we need to chase after them. What they didn't do is stop and think, okay, where are most of the votes going in the areas we need to target? They never asked themselves that question. The result was that they were effectively trying to win a few votes in no-hope seats and putting very little effort into the actual marginal constituencies. This was a major factor in contributing to their worst result in literally over 2 centuries. They've been around a long time. And Trump appears to be doing likewise. It's been pointed out that Harris doesn't actually have much of a lead in the national polls. Now, in a way, national polls don't mean a lot in a first past the post system, and certainly not in US presidential elections. But given that the system is effectively rigged to favour Republicans, in that it's possible for Republicans to win the presidency while losing the popular vote quite significantly. But Democrats always need to win the popular vote by quite a lot to capture the White House. Then if Harris only has a slender lead nationally, then you'd think, well, that's really bad news. That means Trump's ahead. Or would be if the normal rules of electioneering were taking place, but it would appear that Trump, because he's reverting to his more comfortable campaign messages, is largely appealing to voters who are sort of spread all over the place. So actually, where he is making gains, it tends to be in areas where either he's already going to win comfortably or has no chance of winning. Back in 2016, a year that will go down in Democratic infamy in both the UK and the USA, where, anyway, never mind. But back then, Clinton won nearly 3 million votes more than Trump. But Trump won the key states by very small margins, won the presidency. It's sort of how it works with first past the post, win, more sort of seats, if you like, by small margins. What Labour did this year, it's actually new how well they did it, but that's what you do. You need to win a lot of individual contests by small margins. This time, although everyone keeps stressing that it is going to be close either way, it's going to come down to effectively who's going to be able to turn out the greatest number of their voters. But the indications are that Harris is slight favourite because Trump is simply not targeting the key votes he needs effectively. In a way, it's remarkable. You think about the sheer amount of money which goes into the election campaign in America. Now, just to put this into context, when Biden announced that he was stepping down, Harris, who hadn't been confirmed as the Democrat candidate, but everyone expected it to be her quite soon after, and she managed to raise more money literally in the few days that followed that announcement than all of the political parties in the UK spent between them on our entire general election campaign. It's an obscene amount of money they have in America for these things. More than enough to have detailed analysis on where messages need to be focused and what those messages need to be. But Harris being ahead in these key states isn't because the Republicans aren't doing that. As far as I can tell, it's because Trump just isn't listening. All hail stupid evil, as long as it ultimately loses, of course. But there we are. Those are my thoughts. Let me know yours in the comments below. If you enjoyed the video, please click the like button. And if you'd like to support the channel further, you can join for memberships. Thanks for watching. And until next time, I'll see you later.